Let's see if we're live. Let's do it. All right. Let's see if we're live. Let's do it. Okay. Day 209. Let's do this. It is 12:36 a.m. I have a flight in just a few hours, but we're going to stay consistent. So what we're going to do here is rule out this subto deal. And we always talk about how to avoid burnout, but let's actually go through the process to quickly help you understand, hey, what point do I stop looking at this deal? Okay. This property has a $35,000 entry fee, 4.75% interest rate. Let's see. It looks pretty turnkey. Okay, turnkey, 4-bed, 2-bath, 1940 square feet, $370,000. Underlying first mortgage is $329,000, 947.53. Entry fee is 35 grand. Cash to seller 18. Realtor gets 7 grand. Assignment fee of 10,000. HOA of $62. LTR is 1,900. So if your strategy is just for long-term rentals or it's just for Section 8, this would be your first flag right here, right? But, just in case they mess up and they got the wrong thing, let's go ahead and check it out. So before I even go on the street, before I even check the condition of the home, I want to look up the HUD FMR, right? Just in case there's something that I noticed that they didn't notice, such as, hey, what if, for example, I can get an additional bedroom in here. This is already 4 bedrooms, so it doesn't really count. But sometimes when you see properties that are 3-bedroom properties, then there is a chance that maybe you can add an extra bedroom. And now all of a sudden that, even though it wasn't a deal for somebody else, it might be a deal for you. So let's go ahead and look up the zip code. This is 85122, 85122. And you'll see here on the far right that the rent ceiling or the FMR is $24.50. Okay. The next thing you want to look at is, okay, now that I know what my rent ceiling is, and this usually includes utilities, but there are certain cities such as Boston, New York, with very high standard cost of livings, where you might actually get an adjustment upwards by the local city or the county housing authority, which means they might be like 110% or 120% of this number. But let's go ahead and get the market rent. Now, when we go to affordablehousing.com, we go to the owner section, go to the market rent estimator, plug in the address, plug in the bedroom count. Let's get the address right here, copy and paste that in. Boom. 3910. 3910, 85122. And then we're going to plug this in right here. Boom, boom. Let's see what that comes up. 1820. So you can see that the market rents that was listed out here at 1,900, that is pretty accurate, because the number you care most about is this number right here, where it says 1820. Okay, that's how I know that this is not a deal, because when you compare this to the PITI, now all of a sudden you're seeing that you're going to be losing money. But just for fun, let's go ahead and plug in all the numbers, right? So just to be super clear, that's where I would stop analyzing the deal, right? So I know this is 2450, and then the original one was 2150 for a 3-bedroom, 2150 for a 3-bedroom, and that was for 85122. 85122. Boom, boom. That's a 3-bed. All right, just want to list this all out so you guys can go see everything. Now, the rent you have to use is the lower of the two, right? So you have to underwrite with 1820. So I'm going to use 1820 for rents here. 1820. Let's plug in the address. Purchase price. So, whoops. Oh, where'd everything go? There we go. All right, this is $370,000. Boom. And then I'm going to keep renovations at 3,500. Don't even matter, because we know we're losing money. You just want to see the cash flow number, okay? Now, I'm going to come over here, plug in the debt service, 329,947.53. You plug this in, plug the interest rate of 4.75%, and you can see that the HOA, okay, so let's plug in the entry fee, which is 35 grand. So $18,000 to the seller equals 18,000 plus 7,000 to the realtor, and then $10,000 for assignment fee. Boom. Just have 2.5% closing costs, no assumptions of loan. So that's pretty much it. And in order to get your full amount, you want to come to the property tax number, and then you want to equals the PITI that's listed, which is 2231.67. You subtract the principal, subtract the interest rate, and now all of a sudden you have $510. And now for the insurance number, you have extra $30 because usually that is a prime residence property that someone's living in. And for here, there's an HOA of 62. So let's add that back in. HOA $62. And now all of a sudden you get 10% maintenance. You got $62 for HOA, 10% for property management, 5% vacancy. And you might have thought with 1820 and you compare that to 2231, you might have thought you would only be losing what, $400? But when you add in all the expenses, you're now losing not only the $400 just from pure PITI less the or take the rent less the PITI. After you take off maintenance, HOA, property management, and vacancy, you're now losing $960. We don't need to worry about things. But I wanted to walk you guys through why this is not a deal because of all the things that we just listed out. So if you can go for midterm rentals, that might be a higher rent. If you want to go for a pad split, co-living model, short-term rental, sure, that can be better. But for a long-term rental, if that is your exit strategy, then this is where I would stop the analysis. I would have stopped it way early just from looking at the deal, and that will save you a ton of time. So hopefully that was helpful, everybody. The whole goal of this is for you to feel comfortable, for you to develop a track record, and most importantly, for you to believe in yourself, that you know what you're doing. And when you put in the reps, right, all it takes is just a couple minutes a day. Today with this deal, we probably ruled it out in less than 30 seconds. If you rewind this, it's just 30 seconds. And that's it. This is not investment advice. I'm not soliciting any investments, but as long as you stay consistent and you develop a track record, you're going to feel more and more confident about yourself, and also so do your partners. Right? So today we just released a new podcast episode with Stu Hicks. Stu went through all the different zip codes within Detroit that are good or bad ones. Now there's different pockets in every zip code, but we wanted him to come on the podcast to share all the information with you so that you feel a little bit less afraid, especially if you're investing out of state, especially if you don't know how the 12, 13, 19 housing authorities really work in Detroit, because every single one is a little different. You need to work with the people that are doing this every single day, that understands how to work with the housing authorities and understands how to screen the tenants, because you don't know the areas, especially if you're out of state. So there's a way to succeed in every market. And usually one of the biggest reasons why people succeed is because of their team. And I have brought Stu Hicks onto the podcast. I don't get any referral commissions from him. I simply brought him in because he knows what he's talking about. So have a conversation with him. Check out the latest podcast on youtube.com/@Kent_HE. And please subscribe. I really appreciate all your time. I know it's late right now on a Friday night, so thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for being part of the affordable housing community. Without people like you, I would have never had the home I grew up in. So thank you so much, everybody. I really, really appreciate it. Have an amazing night, and I can't wait to talk to you again tomorrow.